Hey guys, it's Erin here with Hand Stamp Style, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about this awesome tool, which is called the Paper Piercer. It's just basically a little needle that has like a pen holder attached to it. It's really, really helpful, and there's a few different purposes for this. Ultimately, the very basic purpose for this tool is to pierce your paper, and stampers can usually do like patterns, faux stitching, things like that with this little tool, just like so. We actually sell little templates that you can put onto your paper and actually pierce patterns and designs with that make it a lot easier to do that, because sometimes people find it very difficult to kind of freehand it and do different designs. Maybe they're not comfortable with getting the holes perfectly aligned or spaced out properly. So the templates are great for you if that tends to freak you out or you don't really like the result that you get by doing it freehand. When you're doing that type of technique, you'll want to also have a paper piercing mat. I suggest that you usually get two of these, one for your piercing and then one for stamping. That way it doesn't have any holes on it. And we'll talk about that in another video, but these are really inexpensive, and I always suggest getting two and designating one for each different purpose. So aside from just doing its main purpose of piercing paper, this little tool I find very helpful for different things, such as picking up little pieces of paper. So you can see I've got this super tiny punched piece here, and I like this for doing things like punch art, because when you're trying to put little pieces on and not get adhesive on your fingers while doing it, I like the paper piercer. I just put a little bit of pressure and you're able to pick it up just like that. So normally when I'm doing something teeny tiny like this, I'll put the adhesive on my working surface and then I'll bring this over and just attach it down like so. There's no glue there, but that's what I would do. And it just gives you enough pressure to be able to pick it up, and then you can place it down and pull it away with your other finger. So that's a neat technique that makes this tool really, really helpful. The other thing that I really like to use my paper piercer for is to pick up rhinestones and pearls, any kind of small embellishment. It really helps with. So typically what I'll do is, if you've been following me for any length of time, you'll know that I color my rhinestones almost compulsively. So I would usually take my Sharpie and color these first while it's on this plastic ink resistant almost paper, because you don't want to be coloring on these while it's on your project. So if you mess up, you're going to get on your project. So I'll color these first, and then I just take my paper piercer and get underneath the little adhesive. And the reason why this is better than saying picking it off with your fingers, because when you pick it off with your fingers, typically you inevitably will pick up some, because these are shipped in different climates. And so at least down here in Texas, if it's super humid outside, that kind of loosens up the adhesive behind these rhinestones a little bit. And if that happens and you're picking them up with your fingers, the adhesive stays on this piece of paper, and then you have a rhinestone with no adhesive on in your hand. So that's one of the problems. The other is, if you do pick it up and you manage to get the adhesive on the rhinestone, you've probably touched it with your finger, and that makes it a little less sticky because you've now got body oil on the adhesive. So having said those two things, I always suggest that you work the little pointy part underneath, and you only have to come in contact with a little bit of that adhesive for it to come up and stay on your paper piercer enough to be able to put it onto your project and press it down just like that. So it's a very, very, very handy tool to have, and they're very inexpensive. And I usually suggest when you get these that you get at least one or two, at least two. I like to keep one in my office, and then I put one, because I do classes, I have several of them. So I put a couple of them in my toolkit that I take with me to events and classes when I'm away from the house. That way, I've always got something with me like this to be able to use on rhinestones or gluing things down, things like that, because it's an incredibly handy tool to have. So I hope you guys found this helpful. And if you have any questions about any of the products or any of the techniques that you've seen around that you'd like me to answer a question about, shoot me a note. I'd love to help you out with that. And if you really, really, really enjoyed this video and thought this was helpful, do me a favor and share it with a friend. I would absolutely love that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, guys, have fun, be creative, and take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, if you wanna play, make it about a place. It'll take creation, imagination. Try to draw outside the line. Let us see inside your mind. You'll find inspiration. All I'm saying is you can do it. I wanna hear you say, I am independent. I am dedicated. Doing it my way, doing it my way. Yes, I am. I am in control. I am. Watch me go. Doing it my way, doing it my way. Can you hear me say, yes, I am. Lead, inspire destiny. Require every dream to believe. Take the chance, lead the dance, and run with what is in your heart. Let the magic start. You're in charge. Yes, you can. What's the plan? Come on, let's do this and do it now. I wanna hear you shout.